In the vast wild forests of Canada, there lived a park ranger named John. He wasn't just a man who wore a uniform. He was a soul deeply bonded with nature. Every day he walked among ancient trees, listened to the rustle of leaves, and felt the quiet heartbeat of the earth beneath his boots. Protecting this land was his calling, his life's quiet promise. One crisp morning, while patrolling the deep woods, John heard something that froze his breath. A strange, sorrowful cry echoed between the trees, a sound so raw, so full of despair, that it wrapped around his heart like cold fingers. It wasn't human. It wasn't animal. It was pain itself, calling out into the wilderness. John stopped mid-step, every sense sharp, his instincts whispering danger. His pulse quickened. The forest seemed to hold its breath. But something inside him, something stronger than fear, pushed him forward. He couldn't ignore a cry for help, no matter the risk. Through thick underbrush and towering pines, the sound grew louder, more urgent, until he stumbled into a small clearing. And what he saw shattered him. A massive bear, once proud and mighty, was trapped. Its right front leg was crushed in a brutal steel trap. Its head was strangled by a tightening wire ring. Its hind leg bled where barbed wire tore into flesh. Each feeble movement made the bear groan, a sound so filled with agony that John's chest ached. Instinctively, his hand flew to his rifle. Years of training screamed at him to defend himself. But then, he met the bear's eyes. There was no rage there, only pain, only a silent, pleading question. "Will you help me?" John's fingers loosened on the rifle. Slowly, deliberately, he set it down on the forest floor. He knelt, hands open, heart wide. "I'm here," he whispered, his voice trembling. The bear, though racked with agony, stilled its shaking body. It trusted him. Step by careful step, John approached. First, he cut the wire, digging cruelly into the bear's neck. Each tug made the animal flinch. Each snap of the wire made it whimper low in its throat. John murmured gently, words soft as the wind, trying to pour comfort into a shattered soul. Then, with painstaking patience, he freed the hind leg from the barbed wire. Blood soaked John's hands, but he worked without hesitation. Finally, with shaking fingers, he pried open the steel trap, crushing the bear's front paw. The heavy metal gave way with a final groan, and the bear was free. John stumbled back, chest heaving, expecting the bear to bolt, or worse, to lash out. But the creature did neither. The bear rose slowly, its massive body trembling, and fixed John with a long, deep gaze. In that moment, something ancient passed between them, gratitude beyond words, a bond sealed by courage and trust. Then the bear staggered and collapsed. John's heart clenched with helplessness. He knelt by the bear's side, stroking its fur, murmuring promises he wasn't sure he could keep. He radioed the local wildlife clinic, his voice thick with urgency. When the rescue team arrived, they worked swiftly. The bear was carefully anesthetized and rushed to the clinic. John followed close behind, refusing to leave the creature that had trusted him so completely. At the clinic, grim news awaited. The bear had likely been trapped for days. Its wounds were deep, infected, the pain unbearable. Emergency surgery began immediately. John waited outside, his hands blood-stained, his heart breaking with every ticking minute. When the surgery ended, the vets assured him the bear would live, but only because of his bravery. Meanwhile, John learned the horrifying truth. This was no isolated tragedy. Several animals had been found in brutal traps across the forest. Rage burned in John's veins. Grief hardened into resolve. He partnered with the police and wildlife officers. Day after day, they tracked clues, combed the forest, and finally caught the poacher responsible. The traps were dismantled. The forest slowly, painfully began to heal. Weeks later, a stronger, healthier bear stood at the edge of the woods. It was time to go home. John and his team drove it deep into the forest, far from the scars of human cruelty. They opened the cage, and the bear stepped out, free again, whole again. For a moment it hesitated. It turned its massive head and looked at John, not with fear, not with confusion, but with a gaze full of knowing, full of thanks, full of something that reached across the divide between human and wild. Then with a powerful bound, it disappeared into the endless green, leaving only hope in its wake. John stood there long after the bear was gone, feeling the wind brush against him, feeling the forest breathe again. He smiled. This was why he had chosen this life, to protect, to heal, to keep his promise. Dear friend, thank you for walking this journey with us. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.